Mavic Mini Flyers. Are you ready to take it to the next level? First things first, when it comes to having your DJI Mavic Mini flying in tight spaces, you definitely want to have these, even for outdoors, and I'll tell you why in a bit. Now, I'm not going to be using these because I only recommend these initially if you're a little scared but you still want to get those shots safely. Now, this has its pros and cons, and we'll talk about that. So first things first, put that on your DJI Mavic Mini. If you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. I'll show you a way in which you can get those shots safely as well. Now, when you're using the prop guards, you don't want to be flying too high because you're more susceptible to wind. And initially, when you're first learning to fly within tight spaces, you definitely want to stay low to the ground just in case you jam anything or clip anything and your Mavic Mini falls, it doesn't break anything. With the tree branches, you need to be careful because a branch can go in the prop and really damage the props and create a lot of instability and cause the drone to fall. So I would not recommend that you try this between branches, although I will be today because that's the closest thing to me. Make sure you are in C mode so you get nice smooth cinematic shots, and also what that does, it makes the sticks less aggressive, which is what you need because you don't want to be like in sports mode, touch the stick and blam, you hit something. Cine smooth mode will give you not only smooth motion and smooth nice shots, but it will limit the speed that the sticks respond to you, and that is ultimately the best condition you could be asking for. Now, ideally, you need to be standing up facing the drone while the drone is flying off between whatever stuff you want to fly between, like these trees, so you have a clear line of sight as you're flying. You can set your gimbal height by using this wheel to the height that you want, and then just focus on the drone while you're flying and keep the drone at a nice comfortable height. Do not look at your screen, look at the drone and make sure you don't hit anything. So that's one way of doing it, with the prop guards on, ideally low to the ground if it's your first time or first few times until you get comfortable. That way you have line of sight of where you're going. You can always make corrections. And also, again, I can't stress enough, make sure you stand behind the drone. So while the drone is flying, you're seeing where the drone is going. Do not focus on the screen. Whatever shot you get, it's good or it's bad, review it afterwards. If it's good, keep it. If it's bad, redo it. Adjust your angle on your gimbal first and focus on where the drone is going and control it with the sticks. Again, do not focus on the screen. Good. Always fly with the drone leaving you with the camera pointed away from you. Never try this maneuver with the camera facing you. Otherwise, the control sticks get reversed and right actually becomes left and left actually becomes right. And the slightest little maneuver when flying through small spaces, well, can wreck your drone. So my advice, always fly with the drone pointed away from you like this. What you can do while maintaining visual line of sight, when you're finished the maneuver and you're ready to come back, you could also do this maneuver flying backwards this way while keeping your eyes on the drone, because when flying backwards, right is right, left is left, and you can do this maneuver bringing the drone back to yourself as well. That's the safest bet, and then you can get forward shots and backward shots, so bear that in mind. Now, what if you're off a little distance and you can't really keep your eye on the drone? Well, so the first thing you're going to want to do is to enable that cross on your screen. You see right now I have a big huge cross on my screen, and that's because I went into the settings up here. I went into camera, I believe it was, advanced settings, put this little dot on. You can put the X too if you want. That's even bigger marking and would help you to stay precise, but I find the X to be distracting. It's up to you. I'm going to go with the little cross or the little dot in the middle. You can actually turn on the cross You can turn on all three things if you want. That's kind of crazy and totally distracting. You might just hit something. So take off the first one, the second one, and just leave the cross on, will you? Okay, once that's done and you're ready to start flying, you definitely want to go in smooth mode. You want nice, smooth shots. Now, when it comes to the sticks, be careful. Try to pinch the sticks, because when you pinch the sticks, you're bound to get better, more precise, slow, cautious movements, and that's what you're looking for when you're flying between small objects. You want that nice, smooth, precise shots. All right. If you can't see where the drone is, but you want to fly between tight spaces, keep your eyes fixed on this cross. More than likely, if you have space above the cross, below the cross, to the right of the cross, and to the left of the cross, and you keep the cross dead center of wherever you're going, 9 out of 10, you're not going to hit anything. And of course, you want your gimbal centered. Not that you can't look down or look up, but those become a little bit problematic because you're not exactly flying center line. So I would recommend you keep your gimbal at 0. Look for the little 0 mark there on the screen, and that will keep your gimbal centered, and then start flying between things. Remember, this little tiny creature has downward facing sensors. So I'm not talking about you flying through little spaces like this where it can barely fit, because the sensors will sense something that's too close. I'm talking about fairly open big areas, not even like your window. Your window is considered a tight area. So look for reasonably wide stuff. Don't try the window shot, because when you're flying through or in or out your car window and the drone is passing through, it's going to sense your steering wheel, your dashboard, all this stuff, and it's going to try to rise up to avoid it and could, well, chop up your car. So stay away from cars and stuff like that until you really get the hang of this. Worst case scenario, you can tape up the sensor, which I don't recommend. That's more for advanced usage, so that the drone doesn't sense anything and go up. That's for flying in really tight quarters, and that's not what this video is about, and that's not what I'm recommending to you. Look for nice big open things like what you see in this video. So again, just to recap: pinching, following your eyes to the T. Do not take your eyes off that cross if you do not have visual sight and trajectory of where your drone is flying. Lock onto that cross. Make sure you're in smooth mode. Prop guards. Use your prop guards if it's the first couple of times, because if you hit anything, you'll just bump off as opposed to crashing and falling. If it's your first few times, stay close or low to the ground just in case you hit anything. You don't damage your Mini, you just pick it up, dust it off, and keep going again. With that being said, guys, this will give you some really cool cinematic shots. Take advantage of it. Don't be afraid. It's very simple. Use the precautionary methods that I gave you, and with that being said, I hope this video was helpful. Do smash that like button, thumbs up, thumbs down, whichever one works for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell next to the subscribe button and turn on the notifications to all, so that way you get notified when I release all of my Mavic Mini videos. Last but not least, I'd like to thank Autonomous Drone Services and MadMixTube.com for sponsoring us this DJI Mavic Mini drone so we can make videos for you guys. With that being said, guys, I'm out. I'm still giving away 6 DJI Mavic 2 Pros or Zooms. Head over to my Patreon account, donate $1, become a patron, and automatically you're entered to win a chance to win one of 6 of those drones. Guys, let's make this happen. Come on, support me and help me support you.